Your skills are impressive.
Welcome back to the Machinima tutorial. This is MiriQL Movies, and today we'll be going through sound editing and post-production for our video. Next up, sounds. So we'll be adding all the sounds that you saw at the start and see how that goes out. So in this part they are seething their weapons, so we'll be taking the cask tool. This is the other tool that I forgot to mention at the start, but cask tool, Cask Explorer, is a program that can see the old M2 files or the MPQ files. Now they are cask, so it works the same way as the MPQ viewer, but it's compatible with the cask files. And what this does is it just opens the World of Warcraft cask file and shows every single file that is inside. And what we're interested in is only the sound. And you can extract the whole folder and just save it on your hard drive, so you don't have to come back here and search for the files that you need. For your convenience, I've already done this. And what we're interested in is the seeth. So just go up there and type star seeth and choose the unsheathed metal. So place it on the timeline when the character is actually taking the weapon out. And use the pitch shift effect to make it sound more deep, because this is a huge axe that we're taking, not a dagger. And next up, we want to bring all the hit sounds, which can be found in items, weapons and axe two-handed. And we want the flesh hits, basically everything. So just take everything from here and oh, actually you need to be in Project Media tab, go back and just drag and drop them to the project and they'll be added. It takes time to load. And here are all the files. So we'll just be placing them in the correct place. Not going in too much in detail for that, just follow the same as you did for the seeth effect. So what we want next is another sound, a different sound, and I'll be using the whoosh sounds somewhere here in the timelines. So we want those, and then go to unarmed and choose something from the medium, this one. And maybe the parry sound, because the second guy is parrying with his fists. And then the miss whooshes are pretty loud, so we want those too. and just place them respectively just before the weapon hit sound. Well, the whooshes will go, and the parry will happen here. Here I will put the unarmed sound where he hits the wall. Right, so all the files are now in place. We need new files. Death impact in the end, and footsteps. Yes, we'll be adding footsteps. And just choose all the medium large dirt ones and put them in the project. And every time the character's feet hit the ground, just use one of these effects, these sounds, and place them on the timeline where the feet hits the ground. And this next part is purely optional, but I will use it for demonstration purposes because I'm not going to record myself, or someone else is not voice acting for me, so I'll be using the default human attack sounds and roars, which you can find under the character. And there's also another folder called human exertion or character exertions, which have more of these files, the finalized files that they use these days for the game. Later on I changed the sound files from default humans to Tyrion Fordring and Admiral Taylor, and you will see in the end product what they will sound like. And also want to mention that some of the scream effects were taken from Epidemic Sounds, and you have access to Epidemic Sounds if you're a partner with some multi-channel network. That usually happens when you either apply or someone recruits you. And there's nothing wrong about joining a network. It actually benefits you more than it does harm, because you will have access to free music and free sound effects, and you won't have to worry about copyright or whatever.
Your skills are impressive, but your manners need work.
More delays! We don't die that easily! Die, worm! No! Yeah!
Okay, so what we have done so far is all the animations, color correction. For sound we have the dialogue, the weapon sounds, and then here in the end the death impacts and whatevers. And what's missing sound-wise is the ambiance. So we'll be adding a high desert ambiance in the background. Though you may not even hear it, but it'll be there. in case the music stops at some point or there is a silent moment. There has to be something filling the sounds.
Your skills are impressive, but your manners need work.
More delays.
So we're pretty much done with the sound, ambiance, background, sound effects, everything like that. Next up is the music. I've chosen a song from Epidemic Sounds, and you will see here that I'm previewing the track to see where the rises and hits are in the music. I always prefer the music to sync with the battle, so that's why I'm checking it.
But your manners need work.
More delays. We don't die that easily. God,
Looks like where the music ends is the best hit and rise, so I'll be putting the end of the track exactly where the head is cut off. The next thing is I will check where the calm part of the song is and have it be at the start of the video where the dialogue is. Where they unsheath their weapons, we'll have the music start like it's an action scene. The difficult part here is that the track is so long that it won't fit on our Machinima here, so we'll have to listen carefully where the beats are and directly cut the music on beat and have the ending clip match the beat. It sounds complicated, but it's quite visible as well if you cannot hear the beat. Basically where the sound waves go crazy each time, that's where the beat or part that we want to match with the other sound file is. And lastly, what I'm doing is that I forgot to add the dust effect, which we've been talking about on the first part. This dust effect that I'm using is again from Action Essentials 2, but there are some free ones in WoW Model Viewer if you just go and search for dust cloud or something like that. I'm just going to add this dust effect where his feet hit the ground scene, and then a little bit after that. Now is the time to render the video. So select the whole video part that you want to render and then go to Project and Render As. And here you'll be seeing a big list of all kinds of formats that you can use. The ones that I'm using is this main concept AVC AAC, which renders it as MP4, and there are good templates for Internet HD 720 and 1080p. But you can customize this template to match whatever you want to render it as. We'll be rendering it in 60 frames per second at first, and the BPS should be higher than normal. The reason is because this is the first render, and we will be rendering this the second time to add more special effects. Okay, now that the render is complete, open the file location and drag the render back to Vegas. We'll be doing some finalizing special effects and also adding the camera shake. So this is the file. I would recommend that you check first that the render was done properly. Just view the video once and see if there are any glitches or whatevers. And if there are, just restart Vegas and render again. Now I'll be zooming in just a little bit, which will ensure that there are no mistakes on the borders, and also because I can then move the camera around without showing black borders. You just do a couple of keyframes around the video. On the part where he hits the ground with his feet, you're gonna be a little bit more camera shake because the camera is like closer than normal. And after the intense camera shake, the camera just calms down a little bit. Maybe on the first hit there could be some more intense shaking. Just tilt and move the camera back and forth. Okay, and the next we're gonna do is some final color correction. Going into a part where I can see the whole desert and all the characters at the same time. And then just let's put little bit more color in. Make it a little brighter, because this is a desert and it's in the middle of the day. The good thing about this color correction after you've rendered is that it just applies to everything that is in the video, not just one file. And this is how it should look like.
Skills are impressive, but your manners need work.
More delays! We don't die that easily! Die, worm! No!
Maybe just adjust the color correction. Let's make it a little bit more orange, yellowy. Yeah, that looks good. And when you're happy with your video, just select the clip again, like this. Go to project and render as. Change the name to something final. And this time we will be rendering it in 30 FPS. This is because I believe it will look better when there is less frames, because on 60 frames per second you can see it's a little bit too smooth for me. It's fine if you prefer it as 60 frames per second, it's just gonna take a little bit longer to render. The file size will be bigger and YouTube will be able to show it in 60 frames per second, but the downside is that it looks as if it was a gameplay. You know what I mean? So it's like this is supposed to be a movie, so 30 FPS is enough. And for gameplay videos I believe 60 frames per second is important, because the viewers like the smoothness like this. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do is to upload this video on YouTube. So go to youtube.com, sign in with your Google account and go to upload. Put the video to private or unlisted at first to make sure the uploading was correct and you were able to put all the annotations or whatever that you include in your videos. Select the file that you want to upload, which should be the final file that we just rendered. And here, in order for people to find your video, let's make a thumbnail. So I'm going to go back to Vegas and go into a part that I like and just save snapshot to a file. If you have the problem that when you take a snapshot and the screenshot is blurry, it's because the preview right now is on 30 FPS. Make sure you change the preview quality to good and full, and then change the project settings back to 60 FPS. So more frames, it'll be more clear, the screenshot won't be blurry anymore. I like this one, so saving this to file, image 2. So go back to YouTube, custom thumbnail, and select image 2 from where the snapshots are automatically saved. It's a lot better if you have a custom thumbnail to your video. You can add some text on top of it to help people know what the video is all about. The thumbnail of the video is the most important part of the video, because that's the first thing that viewers will see from your video. And if they like the thumbnail and it's something that got their interest, then they will read the description. So the description is the second most important part of the video. If you have a bad description, the viewer will not click on it. So custom thumbnail, a good title, and then add as much text in the description as possible. Make sure that the description actually refers to the video itself, because YouTube has regulations about this. So as much text as possible, but related to the video. It's good to add, please subscribe to this channel, and then link link your other playlists or good videos also in the description. Make sure to thank, if you want, of course, but it's obviously better to thank the authors that have made this work possible. For example, Geronimo is the one that made WoW Model Viewer, and he still makes new updates for it, upgrading it. One of the most common questions in the comments is, which music did you use? So it's good to add that in the end of the description as well. The description also is part of the search engine. So if people are looking for WoW Model Viewer and your description has WoW Model Viewer in it, your video will be higher in the search result. But there's also other factors that affect this. For example, viewer retention. The longer the viewers have looked at your video, the better standing you have in the search engine. Add a lot of tags into this. I'm just putting whatever I see fit for my video. Then you can place it in a playlist. In the monetization tab, I will be disabling the annoying long video ads, because this video is literally 30 seconds and the ads may be even longer than that, so it won't be good to display anything on this. But for you, if the machinima that you make is over, let's say 3 or 4 minutes long, then it's good to put all ads on. You'll be able to put ads only after you are partner with YouTube or you are part of a multi-channel network. And that's it. When the processing is done, make sure you share your video in all the social medias that you have, for example Facebook and Twitter, and in Reddit choose the correct subreddit WoW. And there are specific regulations for Reddit and specific regulations for the subreddits. For WoW, you cannot share your own work more often than, was it 7 days or 9 days? So make sure you don't spam Reddit with your videos, because they will ban you. If you decided to follow the tutorial this far, I would love to see what you came up. So please share your videos on Twitter and tag @MiriQL so I can see it. You may also comment the links under the tutorial videos. I'll be sure to have a look at them. Lastly, I wanted to show how long the tutorial video actually took to make, and it's roughly 3 hours. Considering that I was explaining half of the process while I was doing it, it is a time sink, but well worth it. Alright, hope you guys enjoyed the tutorial. I'll be doing more of this in the future for sure. Next up, I'll be doing another heroic highlights, and a big surprise to my earliest fans, finishing War of the Shifting Sands. Thank you for watching, and see you later.